Hakeem Jeffries, Walmart Obama, Temu Obama gets humiliated by MSNBC, CNN, and CNBC all in the same day. Hakeem has to be hands down the worst politician we've ever seen. And the fact that somebody so incompetent, so negligent is the leader of the Democrat Party is prophetically emblematic of why the Democrats are facing complete extinction and permanent irrelevancy. As always, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you watch till the end because I saved the best for last. But let's start with Hakeem getting called out by CNN for being a political terrorist.
You heard the speaker suggest, you guys, the Democrats are acting like terrorists, holding the American people hostage right now in order to get what you want. You want to just quickly respond to that?
Well, that type of language is reckless, it's irresponsible, and it's going to get someone killed. What do these folks not understand as it relates to the language that they continue to use? We should be able to battle it out in the contest of ideas, as opposed to trying to use these extreme terms that have been unleashed on the American people from the very beginning of this presidency, and matter of fact, for a long period of time by the current president and those sycophants who continue to do nothing more than rubber stamp his extreme agenda and hurt the American people.
I mean, the lack of self-awareness required for Hakeem Jeffries to lecture Republicans about their language is astonishing. It's a little hypocritical coming from the party who calls any and everybody who disagrees with them a Nazi. But the Democrats keeping the government shut down until Donald Trump agrees to implement their woke agenda is actual textbook terrorism. What else do you call it when you deprive 40 million Americans of their SNAP benefits to feed themselves in order to further your own political cause? I mean, Hamas doesn't even hold a candle to the Democrat Party in terms of forcing their own citizens to suffer. But forcing your own citizens to suffer and starve in pursuit of your ideological or political ends is straight out of the communist playbook. But the CNN host claps back and fact checks Hakeem right to his face, showing him proof that the Democrats are in fact engaging in political terrorism.
As you know, Leader Jeffries, the White House and the Republicans, they are seizing on this clip, and I'll play it from your fellow top House Democrat Congresswoman Catherine Clark. Listen and watch this. This is what she said.
I mean, shutdowns are terrible. And of course, there will be, you know, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously. But it is one of the few leveraged times we have.
Republicans say this is an admission that Democrats are using the American people as political leverage during this shutdown. You want to respond?
Donald Trump is the president. Republicans control the House and the Senate. They've made the decision to shut down the government, and they are the ones who consistently have taken adverse actions, made clear that they want to hurt the American people during this shutdown that they've created, and they refuse to reopen the government because of their unwillingness to provide affordable health care to everyday Americans.
His knee-jerk reaction is to constantly repeat the same lie that only sounds good to Democrats who want to believe it's true. Donald Trump's the president. The Republicans control the House and the Senate. Therefore, this is their shutdown. The Democrats are being unapologetically clear that they're willing to destroy the lives of hardworking Americans just to get what they want. In a video I did just the other day of AOC and Bernie Sanders at a town hall, they were addressed by multiple people who told them the government shutdown was ruining their lives. And both AOC and Bernie Sanders responded to their real human problems by saying, we don't care at all. We want to win this battle against Donald Trump. But the folks over at CNBC who despise Hakeem Jeffries weren't willing to be so nice and call him out and destroy his claim that this is somehow a Republican shutdown.
I know that the Republicans control everything, but you know how the filibuster works, and God forbid Republicans, fold on the filibuster, because it'll be used, both parties will use it against the other. It's one of the last safeguards that make the Senate different than the House. And the only reason the Senate can't do it is purely because of Democrats. And you had one of your colleagues in the Senate say, this is the only leverage we have. People are going to get hurt. This is the only leverage we have to get what we want on health care. That's a bad look.
Yeah, this is not about leverage. And by the way, if the votes of Democratic senators are required, then of course there should be a bipartisan discussion about enacting a spending bill that is designed to actually make life better for the American people, lower the high cost of living in an environment where Donald Trump and Republicans promised that costs were going to go down on day one. Costs aren't going down. Inflation is moving in the wrong direction. The Trump tariffs are causing thousands of dollars of additional expense on everyday Americans. Grocery costs have gone up. Housing costs are going up. Electricity bills are through the roof. And now people are tens of millions of people are facing dramatically increased health care premiums. In some instances, $1,000 or $2,000 more per month. These are working class people. This is unaffordable. And of course, it's a crisis that is before us right now.
But what changed from when the Democrats said we will not negotiate when the government is shut down on health care? Not now, reopen the government, then we'll negotiate. That happened in 2013. What happened, what changed since then to where we are now, where you can use a government shutdown to extract concessions from Republicans?
We are not using a government shutdown to extract any concessions.
I mean, Walmart Obama lies as easily as he breathes. Hit the like button and subscribe if you're enjoying Hakeem humiliating himself. But in the face of video evidence of his colleagues saying this is the only leverage we have, he says we're not using it as leverage to extract concessions, but then says if the Republicans need the votes of Democrats, we're going to need concessions. But then also claims this is purely a Republican shutdown and Democrats have nothing to do with it. This guy can't get his story straight and has no consistent logic, but it doesn't matter because he doesn't care. His goal isn't to go on these TV programs and say anything meaningful or honest. It's to push his preferred narrative no matter what and avoid answering any straightforward questions. At the end of that clip, the host mentioned in 2013 the Democrats refused to negotiate healthcare with Republicans until the government was reopened. And the Republicans reopened the government. But now that it's happening in reverse, the Democrats don't want to play fair and by the rules of democracy. But the Republicans have a fantastic trick up their sleeve to combat the Democrats' perceived leverage, which is to put forth individual bills to pay workers, to fund programs, which will force Democrats to vote against all these attempts to help people and give them what they need, and really highlight to Americans that it is Democrats and their pettiness that is causing the American people all this pain. Let's move over to MSNBC where they ask Hakeem Jeffries about this strategy.
You talk about they have the control and they have the House, the Senate, the White House, and all of that. But the countermeasure to what you're describing is what we saw play out today in the Senate, where you had 3 Senate Democrats vote in favor of the worker pay bill, Senator Ossoff of Georgia, Fetterman of Pennsylvania, and Warnock of Georgia. So how do you stay on message when the countermeasure to what you're doing now, which has been effective, you know, the messaging around health care, sort of leveling up what the impact of all this is having on real people out there. But now Republicans say, okay, I see you. I got one more for you. Hard bill after hard bill after hard vote after hard vote. How do Democrats message that and strategically work with that at the same time holding their ground?
Now, the Republicans are going to try to advance gotcha vote after gotcha vote after gotcha vote. But I think it's been extraordinary to see not just House Democrats, but House and Senate Democrats together standing up, unified, strong on behalf of the American people, because we know we're on the right side of issues that matter, and I expect to see that continuously.
Just listen to the contempt Hakeem Jeffries has in his heart for the American people. He considers bills to fund SNAP so Americans in need can get their food gotcha bills. Yeah, they are gotcha bills because whoever votes against these are going to have a tough time in the primaries when their opponent runs ads showing that this person voted for you to not receive food. It shows that Democrats do not care about their constituents. They only care about opposing Donald Trump. Democrats say they're worried about some people getting kicked off their government-funded health care. Well, nobody receives their government-funded health care while the government shut down. Millions of federal workers who Democrats claim they're standing up for and Trump's authoritarian purge aren't getting paid. And the Republicans are going to look like they put their best foot forward, tried everything possible to help people, and it is purely Democrat pettiness that is causing their suffering. And what really exposes their desperation, short-sightedness, and lack of political savvy is the Republicans are slated to gain 20 seats ahead of the midterms. And the panel asks Hakeem about that, and Walmart Obama's answer is just as stupid as you might think.
Are you going to be able to counter what Republicans are doing? They're going to get about 19 seats if their efforts are successful. Will you be able to net enough seats to be competitive?
21.
And we've been clear from the beginning, we will not allow Republicans to artificially maintain the majority and cheat their way back to holding the gavels. Texas acted. We've sued Texas. We expect a decision in the next few weeks. And there's a good chance that actually what Texas has done will be found to violate both the Voting Rights Act and the 14th Amendment of the Constitution, and then that will kick up to the Supreme Court. In California, I was just there this weekend, campaigned on Saturday and Sunday with respect to Prop 50 to stop Trump from stealing the election. Prop 50 is going to be successful, and that will wipe out whatever it is that Texas Republicans and Donald Trump thought they were doing in the Lone Star State. And then, of course, from there, we go state by state by state. In Ohio, where we have a chance to take any gerrymandered map that they enact to a referendum and have that invalidated. And just like we're going to be successful in California, we'll do that in Ohio. We can do the same thing in Missouri, and we're collecting signatures right now in Missouri to invalidate that gerrymandered map.
So what Texas is doing is bad. It's illegal. It's undemocratic. What California is doing is virtuous, is preserving democracy. What Texas is doing, super illegal. We're going to try to get it blocked in the courts. What California is doing, super appropriate, and we're going to make sure that it passes. If what Texas is doing is so egregious and illegal, why are you so excited about doing the same thing in California? And not to mention, somewhere in this clip, he says that they have raised $100 million for their institutional effort to go all across California and compel people essentially by force to vote for Prop 50. They're mad that Donald Trump is using private money to build a ballroom at the White House, so no longer does the world's most powerful country have to host foreign dignitaries in a tent on the grass. But they're totally happy to use $100 million to erode democracy and further disenfranchise Republican voters in California. Walmart Obama is a soulless, classless fool, and even the MSNBC host agrees. Here he is calling him out for being ineffective and weak.
We will respond forcefully and appropriately, and that's a Democratic position all across the country.
So I appreciate that like nobody's business, but as someone who understands how the art of redistricting works, having sued over the maps of a Democratic governor in the state of Maryland and won, and having looked across the country, state after state, and strategized how we work the maps, I think it's important for those Democratic governors to not wait for Republicans. I really don't. Simone told you, 19 seats, that's the plan. And if they can get 20, they will. Yeah. If they can get 22, they will. So this idea we're going to wait and see, leader, I think sort of ties your hands. The political moment for you right now, I think, as a party is to lean into that fight and say, okay, you want to play? All right, how many seats? How many seats? Let's do this.
We are leaning in. I can assure you, and you're seeing action unfold in different parts of the country. Okay. And that will continue to happen.
The Democrats are so radical. They're so desperate. They're in such a chokehold right now. They're willing to accept your disastrous plans. But then they get frustrated that Hakeem is too burdened by incompetence and inaction to even implement these disastrous plans. Walmart Obama and the Democrats created a bunch of angry, violent revolutionaries, and now they're getting mutinied because their base realizes Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer are a bunch of wet noodles and not up for the fight. And because the Democrats exiled all reasonable people from their party, the only people left that they can speak to are these angry communists. It's like part of me thinks I make too many videos on Hakeem Jeffries, but then every time he opens his mouth, he gives me perfect content I have to react to. But I must admit, in a depressing and pitiful way, It's kind of impressive to go on 3 shows and go 3 for 3 in completely humiliating yourself. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on those notification bells so you never miss a video. And I will see you guys in the next one.